Last night, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a self-described representative of the working class, proved once again the liberal Democrats in America are nothing more than self-absorbed hypocrites, champagne socialists, limousine liberals who are drunk in their own self-importance. The reality that AOC so perfectly highlighted last night is that these people don't really care one iota about their constituents. They care only about their own celebrity. I have to think the idea of attending a $30,000 a plate gala was so intoxicating for a wannabe celebrity like Representative Alexandria that it blinded her from what the Met Gala really is. The Met Gala at $300,000 a table is an obscene tribute to capitalism and social inequality, the very things AOC claims to be fighting against. At some point, her people probably said, we need to do some damage control here. How do we do that and grab some social media clicks at the same time? Because that's what she really wants, social media celebrity, and clicks are like claps to an audience. She's insecure, an insecure celebrity who soaks up the spotlight like, well, Michael Moore soaks up donuts at Krispy Kreme. So the tax the rich gets painted across Ms. Cortez's six. I'm also pretty sure Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's handlers weren't prepared for the attention she would be garnering as she walked the high society red carpet, so she needed to explain herself. Now listen to this hypocrite.
When Aurora and I were first kind of partnered, we really started having a conversation about what it means to be working class women of color at the Met. And we said, we can't just play along, but we need to break the fourth wall and challenge some of the institutions.
What was that? Working class my backside. Members of Congress make a salary of $174,000 per year. Aside from that, every member of Congress gets anywhere between $1 and $2 million per year to spend on their offices, and that includes lunches, dinners, car leases, basically anything they want, they can throw into that account. In essence, everything AOC spends in a day is paid for by you, the taxpayer. So going to a $30,000 Met plate, a per plate Met Gala in a $35,000 dress is A-OK with AOC as long as you write tax the rich on your backside. Well, that's beyond tone deaf. That's a vulgar FU to her constituents where the average household after-tax income is almost exactly the same amount as that dress she was wearing cost. Working class, my ass, pardon the off-color wording. You know who was representing the working class people at the Met Gala last night? The servants working the event. The people who were servants who were serving Her Highness were all required to wear masks. Now, don't you think that speaks volumes as to what the event was all about? It was a celebration of the elite class, the highest of high society. You can't pretend this was anything but a celebrity-studded celebration of financial and social inequality. And AOC was front and center soaking up the limelight like, well, Michael Moore and walruses soaking up the sun at a beach. Meanwhile, the servant class, they were required to wear masks. But what about Ms. Ocasio-Cortez and the rest of the elite celebrities? Masks? Oh, hell no. No way. I guess this is just another liberal party where a slogan goes, masks for thee, not for me. Right, Obama? But it begs the question, when does a celebrity member of the ruling class cease being a part of the working class? I would suggest right now, AOC going forward has forfeited her right to preach to us about the haves and the have-nots in society because she herself has become a member of the elite class, the champagne socialists, and she's lavishing in it. Bottom line, if AOC hates the rich so much, why is she attending an event that only the rich can afford? And more importantly, will any quote-unquote journalists ask her that question? Don't hold your breath. Over at CNN, MSNBC, and Fox recently, there's an ongoing love affair with the working class congresswoman from Brooklyn. Let's call it like it is, though, here on The Balance. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fancies herself a working-class liberal championing the little people's struggle against the rich. But the reality is, AOC is nothing more than an attention-seeking, aspiring celebrity who is willing to engorge herself in the extravagant rewards reaped upon her by the very economic and cultural pecking order that she claims to despise. Henry, ring the hypocrite bell. Okay, joining us now, our panel spokesperson for Turning Point USA, Isabel Brown, and conservative commentator Lauren Chen. Let's start with you, Lauren, this time. Tell us your thoughts when you saw AOC at the Met Gala, $35,000 dress, $30,000 plate, Met Gala, wearing the tax the rich dress.
Well, my first thought was that $35,000 I would have thought would be enough to pay for a dress that at least didn't look like a Chick-fil-A takeout bag. But honestly, from AOC at this point, this amount of hypocrisy is not surprising. She's done a lot of damage control today, trying to walk back the idea that she is some champagne socialist elitist, even though she clearly is, by saying that, oh, it's okay, I was actually gifted this ticket, so I didn't actually pay for it. If AOC was more interested in helping the working class instead of virtue signaling to fellow leftist elites, what she could have done with that ticket is instead offer to auction it and take that money and actually give it to a worthy cause. Instead, she wanted to make headlines and get her photo taken on the red carpet.
Yeah, Isabel, AOC says that she's for the little people. She's the working class representative, and she can't stand the hierarchy. She can't stand the wealthy people, tax the rich so that the poor people get more, yet she's hobnobbing with them. She seemed very, very happy and very comfortable in that setting.
She sure did. And this is just another example in a string of situations we've seen throughout her time in Congress where actions speak louder than words, Eric. You'd think she'd learned her lesson with selling tax the rich AOC sweatshirts on her merchandise website. You'd think she'd learned her lesson turning down thousands upon thousands of dollars for her grandmother dealing with a financial crisis in Puerto Rico. But no money for Abuela as long as you can pay for a $35,000 dress on a $30,000 red carpet. This is a prime situation where we see leftist politicians say absolutely anything to stay in the good graces of the media and what we deem as politically correct without following through on their actions.
You know, and she said we have to take down the fourth wall, meaning it's a high society. It's a group that she would want to knock one of the walls down so we can have a look into it. That's BS. She was enjoying every minute of her stardom, her red carpet stardom.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.